Hey guys, welcome back. I have a very interesting spread out here. I wasn't planning on making another video, but you know, when it comes in and you're asked to, you do it. I'm gonna go ahead and show you this layout a little bit. Really, really pretty. Um, so right off the bat, today is the 4-4 portal, and it's really funny how these came out because I have one at the top and then I have two. And it's funny because I started with two and then it went to three from the Citadel. And then Remember Your Divinity, four of them came out and they have a storyline. Like they all line up and it's pretty incredible. Oh, okay. I don't have much time on my storage. So there is an incentive. Also, time. There is a countdown going on today because there's a lot of downloads that are going to be accessible for the next couple of days. So going within, staying away from negative energy, staying away from other people in general is really going to help you utilize the energies that are being provided for you at this time. Get your crystals. I have like crystals on a bunch of them. So let's get into this. Snake. Number 14, shed, renewal, and heal. And we're going to get to this with the Citadel because it's very interesting because you've been blocking yourself. And it was really cool because maybe this is going to help you release it and go through an emotional cry, feel whatever you're feeling whenever you hear this. So there is a shedding. There's a renewal. And new card. 46, rogue. Expand your limits, explore the unknown. So you are shedding something that has been blocking you so that you can go on this journey, okay? This rogue journey, this alone journey. I do. I'll go back up there in a second. So the forgotten, missed opportunities, fear of failure. What are you fearing? Bring it out. Bring it out into the light. Confront it. Write it down. What makes your stomach churn and you don't even want to look at it? I'm going to give you an example. My son was taken from me. I got him back, and that was needed to happen so that I had my awakening. I don't want that to ever happen again, So I have to look at that. I have to look at instability, insecurity, fear of not having a roof over our head, food. We don't have family. So I'm being very open and vulnerable because I feel like somebody else out there really needs to hear this, that you can do this by yourself. You can, but it's all about you're shedding this trickery. Okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. The Enchanter, deception and trickery. Of course, when these cards want to come out like this, who wants to take them? Right? It's when we don't want to look at it. We put it back in the deck. If you know, you know. If you have cards and they come out and they like rub you the wrong way, you're like, I don't like that. I'm going to put it back in. But you know what I did today? I was like, And it didn't come. It didn't come. That weird feeling. I was very proud of myself. I was like, oh, no, I'm not. I need to know what's going on. Seriously. Like, of course, I could start this whole business and it, like, what is my fear about that? The fear of the failure. Because you have to get things started in order for things to move. And it's almost like I'm keeping myself from something that is really going to benefit me because of this fear. And that's what's so crazy with the Smith here in reverse. This is saying you're doing it like, hey, straight up, you're doing this to yourself. This trickery, this fear, confronting the fear of deception and trickery that we play on ourselves. Being like, yeah, I do have that fear. I do have that fear of missing an opportunity. I do have that fear of somebody not liking my work, or the old me would have to explain myself completely. I'm getting to the point where I don't have to. I know my worth. I know how amazing I am. If you don't like my services, then you do not have to take them, right? This is just in my instance. I don't know what your instance or situation is. But there is a shift happening in all of us. Like, not many people are talking about the alignment that actually happened yesterday on the 3rd, and we're feeling it today also with all the other energies that are coming in. So now is the time to really shed that skin here with the snake. so that we can go on this journey. I am actually going to do the top one. The very top one you're going to see is this sailboat. This card is all about new, like, I was like, what is the overall? And I wanted something very abstract because Spirit loves to speak more in abstract, or what you are going to see. What is your consciousness going to pull from the card as well? Because using your intuition and going with what you see and what you're pulled to, that is the main gift. And believing in yourself and your inner voice and what is speaking to you. Not what this person's saying or this reader is saying or your neighbor is saying. I don't care. What are you saying? Okay, this is your new adventure, new experiences, new journeys. I mean, it's so straightforward once we actually look at ourselves and be like, yeah, I do have fears. Yep. And let's just look at them. Let's talk about what's oh my goodness, that's right. What's the worst case scenario? I wrote a quote last night from a show. Always plan for the worst. That way, all your surprises are pleasant ones. And it's so true. When I was fighting for my son, I was like, what's going to happen if I lose my case? What's going to happen if this happens? I want to prepare for the worst case scenario. And by doing that, guess what? You take its power. You reclaim your power from the worst case scenario. You creating a fear or worry or like, what if this happens? What if this happens? What if this happens? Because you're praying for it to happen. You're bringing it into your reality. But if you examine what's the worst case scenario and then you take the steps to be prepared for if that does happen, everything's going to be a pleasant surprise. You will be prepared for any situation. You will be able to hold your own, okay? Protecting your power. We have Icarus, be mindful of balance. So this is what this is talking about. Getting in balance. Like, you don't want to fly too high and you don't want to fly too low because the sun and then the sea, right? So also water and fire could be very significant for somebody. Number 45 is also here, but it's all about balance right now. You're finding a balance so that this void, empty space, is a container for creation. You're emptying this space. Like I was talking about crying. This is releasing. Whether you understand what it's for or not, as long as you allow it to come out, this is stuck energy, guys. We have to allow it to come out at this time. This is a very fertile time for healing and allowing these energies to come in and do its work, whether we understand it or not. 737. So find the balance, do a cry, confront your fears. Yes, you're doing this to yourself, okay? Nobody wants to hear that, right? But we are. We're doing it to ourselves. And I felt very liberated earlier when I was doing this read. And then when I was done, it was like, Spirit's like, whether they're there right now or not, the listeners listening, you're going to hear this and it's going to be very beneficial for when you are going through it. It's like you're going to recall it and be like, oh my gosh, I was told about this. And you're going to be able to move and flow with this energy, because it's going to feel very empty and like nothing's happening, but it's almost like sitting in that, allowing it to just be calmness and still and peace. And we're not used to that. It's very uncomfortable. It is a very uncomfortable energy for those who have not been experiencing it. So, again, 2 more cards right here. It's a storyline. It even talks in this card about igniting a seed that has always been in you, that you planted maybe a long time ago. And then guess what? Guess what comes next? Number 13, there is always a way. The cracks begin to show, and it is coming out. And then the groove, growth, abundance, fruits of labor. So we just went through the whole process of, basically getting all of your materials in order. I'm thinking horticulture, growing plants, you're getting everything in balance, making sure you have everything that you need, emptying yourself out, and allowing this light ray to come in. When we close our eyes and we open our third eye, we fill our bodies with light of creation from our divine mother and our divine father. And whoever I'm speaking to, you've done so much work. You're really looking and examining your soul, your choices, your fears, your shadows. You're saying, oh my gosh, I love you all. Like, let's talk about it. Let's figure each other out, right? And again, here it goes. into the blossom, the growth, the abundance. The fruits of your labor are showing fruit. Your tree is going to be showing, or is showing your fruit. I don't feel like this has completely happened yet. I feel like this is a preparation. Once you get some things in balance with food, water, hydration, meditation, going within, asking yourself the right questions, uncomfortable things that pop up. Not everything is yours. It just needs to be examined. I had a very disturbing dream having to do with, I don't know if I can even say that word, PETA, the rest of it. And it took me being vulnerable and actually finding the right resources to find out that this is actually from Mother Gaia, whatever you want to call her. And this has been in the crystalline grid because people have been traumatized by this exact experience. So I went in and examined it and observed it from an objective point. And it was, I identified it. I gave love and kindness. This happened. It doesn't have to be this way anymore. We can choose a different path. This isn't who you are, to all those who had been affected. And I definitely felt a release and a healing from that. And all of us can do that and generate that power and that healing so that we can keep evolving and rising. And I feel like whoever I'm talking to, you're starting to realize that there is it's much bigger than just us. It's huge. And so I'm going to go ahead and say the mudra, and then I'll say the chakras, because I actually only wanted one mudra because I was going into meditation and I wanted to see what mudra was going to help today's shift. So 29, purification. This is blue, so this is the third eye. Vishuddha mudra. So this is assists with mental clarity, purity, and spaciousness. Creating that space, that void, so the light of creation can come in. This does talk about caution, and I've been hearing a lot of caution, travel. It's astral travel. It's our consciousness traveling. By embracing purity on all levels, I open to greater expansion. This is helping you make that room for that greater expansion. This is shedding the skin. This is purifying something. So bring the tips of the thumbs to touch the base of your ring finger. That's all it is. Your thumb to the ring finger, and you're going to rest it on the thighs, okay? And then just try to relax, all right? And then this, I would say this: by embracing purity on all levels, I open to greater expansion. Maybe even say that 3 times. So again, your sacral chakra, this like sexual energy that you thought was, we can channel it into lust, which is the lower aspect of that chakra. But somebody is now utilizing it for creation, which has to come through what? The heart. Heart came out. These were the first 2 to come out. But I wanted a mudra, but the chakras came out. But everything is significant. Nothing is ever a mistake. That's why putting it back in the deck is actually not serving you. If it's something you're not wanting to look at and you don't like the card, guess what? You're in denial about something, or you're trying to push it out of sight because you don't want to have to deal with it. And it's not even like, don't be hard on yourself, because it's literally we're in a battle with ourselves until we can bring that harmony and understanding to those parts of ourselves. So whoever you are, you're learning that this sexual energy, this sacral energy, is very, very sacred, and that you can channel it. You can bring it up through your spine, through meditation and breath work. Give it an intention. Bring it to the heart and have that Horton, here's a who. Oh my God. Okay. Through the heart chakra. Okay. Yeah. Heart orgasm is what I'm hearing. 4th, 42, 43, 45, or 44, 45. Oh, okay. Yeah, progressive energy. Something is picking up momentum. Something is moving. Like somebody's moving with the water here with this boat and this. I mean, this is a beautiful read, guys. And if this is part of your journey, I'm so happy for you. Keep going, because you're healing the planet, you're healing other people, you're affecting everybody that you touch. Mostly yourself, which is amazing, because I love to see people love themselves. Because when you're loving yourself, you're loving the creator. When you're loving yourself, you are loving other people. So keep up the good work. I love you. The universe always loves you. Oh, so do I. That sounded weird. But everything's working out for your best and your highest good. And until next time, guys, peace.